Hello everyone, my name is Kalani. I also go as Lonnie Shots, and welcome to my channel, Outside with Lonnie Shots. We're outside in the beautiful state of Texas on a trail that I go on, I guess quite often because it's close to things, but still allows me to feel like I'm in nature and out in the wild. Anyway, if you are new to hiking, new to all things outdoors, then this video is for you. I want to teach you and show you the things that I did not know when I first got started hiking. I would say my first introduction to hiking was, when I was a kid, we would go on this trail. It's called Cedar Ridge Preserve. And we would all go as a family and we all go out there, just like titty shoes and shorts and a shirt and, be on our merry way. And I would always see people that had these like sticks and backpacks and different things. And I'm wondering in my head, why do they have all that? We're just walking. Because in my mind, it wasn't really hiking. We were just going to get a little workout in. Fast forward to my, early 30s, when I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, I started hiking like actual mountains and literally had no idea what I was doing. None whatsoever. I was like, I want to go hike a mountain. All right, let's do that. Put on some clothes, grab a water bottle. Let's go. No. No, ma'am. No, sir. You need more than that. Okay. Okay. Do you need more than that? No. But we are smart hikers. Okay. We want to prep and prepare for things that could possibly happen while we're out on our hikes. Okay. And that is why there is a thing called the 10 essentials. And these are items that it would probably be a great idea to bring with you if you decide to go on a hike. Not only will you feel confident and more prepared to be outside in nature in the backcountry, your family members who are probably bugging you and asking you why the heck you even want to be out there, they will feel just a little bit better, okay? So we want to calm everybody's fears and let them know that we hike smart, okay? We hike smart. Am I saying that word right? We hike smart. When they ask you, like, well, aren't you scared of this or aren't you scared of that happening? You can say no, because I hike smart. I hike smart. That is going to be your phrase to help you to remember exactly what to take with you whenever you go on these hikes. The I in I hike smart stands for insulation, okay? The weather can be crazy, right? You never know if it's going to rain or anything. So one thing that I always bring for insulation is a rain jacket. I pretty much always have it. Even though in Texas in the summers, sometimes it's not going to rain, whatever. I want to always be prepared because you never know what can happen. And so this is one of my rain jackets that I have. I also have a poncho that I bring sometimes if I don't want to bring this one. So rain jacket. Not only do I always bring a rain jacket, but especially in the colder months, I will bring my puffy for extra insulation. It can get really cold. And while you're hiking, you might not be that cold, but when you stop to take your rest breaks, your body can get kind of chilly. And we definitely don't want that to happen. So my little puffy, that's my favorite puffy. It's not super lightweight, but it works. And it's cute because it's yellow. So those are some things that I bring for insulation. I also have like a mid layer that I bring sometimes, even when it's hot, just because I want to get in the habit of bringing it. I definitely always bring some type of piece that will keep me dry if it does rain, and then something that will keep me warm if the temperature does drop. The H in hike stands for hydration, okay? You got to bring you something to drink, right? I know a lot of times, especially in the beginning when I didn't know anything about these 10 essentials, I would go hike a mountain and I would have one of those like little bitty tiny water bottles, like 16 ounces, and think that I was going to be fine. Nope. Not only do you need water, are gonna need something that could possibly filter water if you get to the point where you run out. Something that I also always bring with me, and by the way, you don't have to have this part. You can bring enough water if you want to. I have a Sawyer squeeze that I attach to my little water bladder in here, and I can filter water if I do run out. I also have, as a backup, which on a regular hike you might not need, but I like to have a couple of redundancies just in case. And it just reminds me of like when I was on trail. So, and that always makes me happy. I also have the Aquamira. It's like little drops that you put in there and it'll purify your water. You can bring you some electrolytes as well. I normally hike with 2 1-liter water bottles, and then I'll fill this one up with some type of electrolyte powder and mix it with water. Okay, the second I in I Hike Smart is illumination. And of course, I left my headlamp in my car, but it's always good to have something that can shine some light. For most of us, that's going to be our cell phones because, hey, our cell phones, they work. For me, I usually use a headlamp. I also bring with me a little taser. It's a flashlight and taser in one. So for you girlies out there who are a little nervous about being out in nature, really there's nothing to be worried about, but a lot of times people will throw their worries on us. If that's you, Amazon or any other little place has lots of different things that you could take with you. This is one. It doubles as a taser, but it's also a flashlight. Did it come on? It did. The K stands for Kindle. I'm just playing. It doesn't stand for Kindle. It does stand for Kindle, but Kindle is also a word that's used for something else, and that is to like start a fire. So something that you can start a fire with. And I pretty much always have a lighter, something that I can start a fire with. Also, I don't always bring this, but I have it if necessary. I have matches that comes with a little extra Kindle in there so that you can actually start a fire. Lighter, matches, whatever you need that can start a fire. The E in I Hike Smart. You guys, your hair starts growing long and then it starts like hitting you in places and you think something's crawling on you. Growing hair problems. Okay. The E stands for extra food. Okay. So whenever I go on a hike, I always have some type of food with me. One, because I just like to eat. So today I brought these snacks from, I actually took them to work with me, but I didn't finish them. So yeah. So I always have a couple of snacks that I can eat. Also bring extra food with me. So do I normally bring a bag this big? No, but this morning at 5 when I was trying to pack up this stuff, I didn't feel like going through it. We're almost done with this phrase. The S in I Hike Smart stands for sun protection. Cancer is real, and we want to make sure that we prevent it at all costs. Also, sunburn is a real thing too. And y'all, I did not realize until I was like in my early 30s that Black people get sunburn too, because it happened to me. Oh my gosh. So, okay, side story. So this is when I was a flight attendant and I decided I wanted to go on a little daycation. So I got a little backpack and I hopped on the plane, flew out to San Diego, took all the little buses and got to the beach. And I like laid out a sheet on the sand and I brought books with me and I read and I was just like laying out, having the best time on this free daycation. And I don't remember when I noticed, but it was definitely a couple of days later because I didn't wear sunscreen then. Yeah, did I? I don't even think that I did. But a couple days later, I started noticing like this peeling of my skin, and I was like, "What is happening? Oh my god, I got sunburn. My skin was flaking off." And it was at that point that I realized that Black people get sunburned too. And it's not that I really didn't know that Black people get sunburned because my dad got sunburned a lot, but he's a lot lighter complexion, and so I just assumed, lighter skinned people get sunburned. Darker skinned people, no sunburn. I was wrong. Don't talk about me in the comments. I was wrong. Okay. Where were we? We hack smart. S. Sun protection. Boom. Let's do it. Okay. So, I know this hat is not cute, but it's absolutely one of my favorite hats. It's one of my favorite hats, one, because I wore it on the PCT, but two, because like it truly covers everything. Let me show you. There's a top for like the head part, but anyway, I'm not selling this hat to y'all. Okay, sun protection. So, make sure you have some type of hat. Okay, got the shades. Something else. A little sunscreen. I have a little stick here. If I can get it off. Ah, it melted. Yes, I have some sunscreen and a little stick. What else? For the most part, even though it gets super hot here in Texas, I always wear long sleeve shirts. Yeah, if you've watched pretty much any of my hiking videos, you know that I wear long sleeve. I've recently started adding like the hoodie, because if I don't wear that hat, then the hat will make the hat stick out like this, and it covers up some of my face. Something else I will do if I have the shorter, like the cuter, regular, like baseball style hats, I'll use my buff to cover up my face. So I'll have the hat on, and then I'll wear the rest like this, so my face is covered. So I always try to make sure that I'm pretty much fully covered. And one other thing that I wear, right hand, right? I also wear sun gloves because I'm not playing with the sun. I love it. Vitamin D is good for us. Get you 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day out there in the sun. But if you're going to be hiking hours, you definitely want to make sure that you protect yourself. And yeah, pants, long sleeve, hat, sunscreen, sun protection. Make sure you have it. M. What does the M stand for? Map. Make sure you have some type of map. And I know that, like, okay, we are in whatever century we're in, and who does that? But it's a really good idea to have a backup, because sometimes our electronics will fail us. They'll die. Okay. So, yes, of course, there are lots of maps on our phone, on All Trails, any other like hiking apps that you can find that will have maps that you can follow through. I also sometimes will download waypoints on my Garmin, which I have the super old one, the big one. A lot of people have the little mini ones, but you can definitely use that as well. Honestly, what I truly do the most is I'll have the maps on my phone. Sometimes I'll actually print out a map at home before I go somewhere. I've done that and pulled out a paper map, which is kind of cool too. But I'll have my phone, and then I just make sure that I have a battery bank available as well, just in case my phone dies. The A stands for first aid. Okay. So I have definitely pared down my first aid kit. I would say when I started out, I had this like big old thing, because you're thinking the whole world's going to go wrong when you go hiking. For the most part, nothing goes wrong, right? Sometimes you might fall, you'll get a scrape or a scratch, or you'll get bit by some ants or whatever. But for the most part, nothing crazy happens. So I have pretty much the basics here. Some Band-Aids, some ointment, alcohol pads, Claritin, some Benadryl. I have some ibuprofen, Imodium. Not that I would really need that on a day hike, but you never know. Oh, you know what I also have in my first aid kit? A bug net. I love this thing. It really comes in handy. I cannot stand bugs flying in my face. As much as I like the outdoors, you would think that I don't because I'm always like, But anyway, that. R. Repair kit. Okay, so that's in here also. You never know when something is going to break, right? So it's always good to have like a little repair kit. And that's what I have here. I have a couple of safety pins, tweezers, I have a tick remover, quarter. I have a little multi-tool floss, which I use with the needle that's in here. When I was on the PCT, my pants that I was wearing literally split at the seams. And so I had to like tape them up and try to sew them up as best as I could. I also have an O-ring, which is for my Sawyer's grease. And the other thing that I have in my repair kit is some Leuco tape. You can see it right here. It comes in a big roll. I find that I don't need the whole roll, but if something happens and I do need it, I can just tear it off my trekking poles. And no matter what hike I'm going on, even if I know that it's flat elevation, I pretty much always bring my trekking poles because I like them. It helps. It helps with my hands swelling. It helps whenever I see a snake up ahead and I have to like, tap the ground for it. And yeah, it's my friend. You never know when you might need it. Boom. Yeah. SMART. Tent or emergency shelter. I didn't want to bring my tent because if I'm going on just a day hike, like I never have my tent with me. Never. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have my tent. But I do have this little packet. It's like an emergency shelter or like a blanket type thing. It comes in a package, but I couldn't find it this morning. That tells you that I have not been bringing it with me. Bad, Kalani. You never know what can happen. You could get lost. I've gotten lost lots of times. You can get lost, and then your short day turns into a really long day, and you have to spend the night. And I would definitely feel more comfortable in a tent or in something versus just sleeping out in the open. And I know cowboy camping is a thing. I've never tried it. I won't say that I won't ever do it, but I haven't yet, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. So, emergency shelter, especially when you're hiking in the cold, because you never know. I hike smart. Did I do everything? Is that all of it? Insulation, hydration, illumination, Kindle, extra food, sun protection, maps, first aid, repair kit, emergency shelter or tent. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you now know what you can bring with you in order to be safe out there, whether it's, like I said, in a hike around the street or in the back country. No matter what, just make sure you have the 10 essentials. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be these things. Like, it can be whatever you have at home. Please do not feel like you have to go out and buy something in particular. I go hiking all the time and I see people with just regular like wooden sticks that they found on the ground as they were going, starting the trail or whatever. You don't have to go spend a ton of money in order to do this. You can start out using exactly what you have. Pack a jacket you have at home. Pack a trash bag for your rain gear. You don't need fancy stuff, at least not to get started, okay? And that's the goal. We want you to get started. We want you to get outside on these trails, having fun, just being immersed in nature. I think it's where I feel at home. This is where I feel closest to God, which is why I like to be in nature so much. So I hope that as you begin to gain confidence in being in nature and going outside and doing things, that you can meet God there too. Oh yeah, I guess that's not one of the 10 things, but obviously you need something to put all the things in. So get you a backpack. Get a backpack. Take me $5 at Walmart. Get you a backpack. And go outside and have fun.